Lights, camera, action, right? I don't even know, guys. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit more about anxiety. I kind of touched on it a little bit in my intro video and then a little bit in natural ways that I handle my anxiety and depression. But today I'm feeling a little bit anxious about a lot of big life changes, which I'll talk about later on in future videos. But right now I want to just kind of talk about what I do daily that is natural to help with my anxiety. And number one, I want to say I am not a doctor. I don't know all things. Please don't take this as Bible because it is just a Kimism from the book of Kimberly that helps my life and things that I have discussed with my higher power, not yours. So take what you want, try what you want, leave the rest. I won't be offended. Second thing I want to say, I am not getting paid for anything. This is not an advertisement. This is just public service announcement for people struggling with anxiety and depression who need or want to help themselves feel better naturally. And also, I am in no way saying that you should not take medication. Medication is awesome. I take medications for things that help my life in so many ways, but I am a more holistic person because my anxiety makes me scared of side effects. So I tend to try to do things naturally versus using medication, but I in no way want you to feel like less than or anything like that if you're taking medication, because God gave us doctors and nurses and medicine and surgeries and all kinds of things for a purpose, because He loves us and He wants us to feel better. So that being said, let's get started. So I already talked a little bit about like how I journal, how I take vitamins, how I exercise in my past video, which I will link in the description below. But today what I want to focus on is the vitamins and supplements that I take, because I have done a lot of research on all the most of the vitamins that I take. The other ones like over the counter, like vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin D, stuff like that I take, I just tried them, and if they didn't work, then I didn't use them anymore. And so I'm sticking to the ones that I'm using that work well. As far as what I'm going to talk about today, I have read lots of things. I have researched lots of things. I've watched countless YouTube videos of other people who have used these things and have like a first person experience with it. And I have been taking it for 2+ years. And so it is also my personal experience now. So let me just give you a little background on where I was before, because it was really scary. I'm just going to describe it to you. I had 3 little kids. I had a terrible marriage. Love my husband now, but my marriage at that point was falling to pieces. I had a bad relationship with every person in my life. Granted, this was also before recovery and before I realized I had an addiction. So that probably factored in a lot. Definitely. But at this point, I was not showering, not taking care of myself, eating all day, all night, secretly, gaining weight consistently, putting on a everything's fine face when people were around, but when no one else was around, I was sitting on the couch, doing nothing, watching TV, binge watching shows that increased my anxiety, increased my fear, increased my depression. Bad idea. If you're doing that, stop. I didn't want to kill myself, but I did not want to live. The only thing, guys, and this is not an exaggeration, and I tend to be an exaggerator. If you ask my family, they'll tell you. But this is not an exaggeration, I assure you. The only thing keeping me alive was my kids. It was them loving me and needing me and me not wanting to abandon them. I had no plans to hurt myself, but I definitely was like, I wonder if I drove my car into that wall, if anyone would notice. I wonder if I didn't wake up tomorrow, if it would affect anyone. I bet you nobody would come to my funeral. I had really scary thoughts. Really scary thoughts. It would be better if I was never born. Nobody cares about me. There's nobody here that loves me. Your kids only love you because they can't pour their own cereal and wipe their own butts. And your husband doesn't love you because you're fat. None of your family loves you because you're useless and you're stupid and you're ugly and you're never going to do anything. You're never going to accomplish anything. Just have this negative tape replaying in my brain all day, every day. You're worthless, you're stupid, your life is pointless, you're never going to amount to anything. It was awful. I mean, I said things to myself I would never say to anyone else, ever. Because I'm a nice person. I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I'm also a people pleaser, which is part of my disease. Talk about that in another video. So, I was in an ugly place. I fed my kids, I bathed them, took them to and from school. That was literally all I did to accomplish anything every day for months. It was really hard and I was scared. I didn't see a way out. I went to my therapist, I went to doctors. Well, I was working out, and at this point I had stopped exercising, which was a big red flag because exercise is a huge help for me. So anyway, that's where I was at. One day, it got really, really bad. I ran away. I remember this day very vividly because you already know that I've been living in my parents' house for a while. We were only supposed to live here. I don't think I've told you all the details, but we were only supposed to move here for 6 months because we lived in Oregon. My anxiety and depression was like really crazy high and I couldn't do it anymore. I found out I was pregnant with my third one and I just lost my mind. We moved back here. It was just supposed to be temporary and then we were supposed to go back to Oregon. My mom ended up getting diagnosed with cancer, which is also something we'll talk about in another video, but we ended up staying here. Long story short, it's been 6 years. That's a long time. So at this point, this was like 3 years ago. 3.5? No, 2? I don't know. I lost track of the time. Anyway, it was a while ago. We were talking to someone about co-signing with us for an apartment. And my husband and I have been praying about this. I've been praying so hard about this. And the person on the other end basically said that they were cool with it a couple days earlier. And then when we went to actually fully talk to them about it, it changed. And it was like, we're not going to be able to do that for you. I remember my brain just shutting off, thinking to myself, you're a piece of nobody's going to help you. You're hopeless. I remember putting on my slippers, taking my phone out of water, grabbing the car keys, and just driving. And crying my mother living eyes out for hours, just driving. Turned off my locations, turned off my texts, just ignored the world. My husband didn't even know I left the house because he was still on the phone with these people for like probably 30-40 minutes. I didn't say bye to anyone. I didn't say anything to anyone. I just left. And I sat in the car. I parked my car and I remember sitting there and feeling the feels, guys. I haven't talked about this like since the day it happened, so it's woof. And I haven't talked about it since I've been not burying my feelings with addictions. So I don't know how this is gonna go. But I remember sitting there in that car, listening to my music super loud to try to drown out the voices of you're garbage, you're stupid, you're nothing, nobody's ever gonna love you, no one's gonna help you, you're never gonna get out of this situation, you're gonna live with your parents forever, blah, 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 blah. I remember pulling out my cell phone, texting to my husband, all the things that I wanted my children to know. I didn't have any kind of, I'm going to kill myself, none of that. But I definitely thought, this is it. I'm going to disappear. I'm not worth anything. Nobody's going to love me. If these people can't help me, nobody can help me. And I thought I knew God. I thought I knew a higher power. I prayed all the time. But I didn't realize that I was praying for what I wanted, not what God wanted for me. That I was just trying so hard to control the world that I was losing control. So I start text messaging my husband and my poor husband. These were probably just like the most terrifying text messages to get. And luckily we've had new phones since then, so there's hopefully no record of these awful things that I wrote, which were very beautiful actually. All the things I wanted my kids to know about who they were, what's most important, all things that I could not believe myself. Like, you are loved, you're not alone, you're worth every ounce of effort people put into you. And you're special, and you're talented, and you're funny, you're kind, you're important, you have a purpose. You are a child of God. You have a light inside of you that the world needs to see. You're beautiful, you're talented, brilliant, fabulous. All these things. You're brave, you're strong, you can do anything you want to do. But my husband started freaking out at that point. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Calling my best friends, calling my coach, started driving around looking for me. Of course, he couldn't find me because he didn't know where I was, and I turned off my locations. But the only person I would answer the phone for was coach. And he and I talked for a while. I don't remember what we said. I don't remember how we left the conversation, but I remember I just ended up going home. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to lose my kids. I wasn't done here. I knew that. God got through to me just like enough to get me home. And after that, I knew I needed help. I knew I needed to do something. So I went to my doctor. I went to therapy. I went to outpatient intensive therapy, which is like basically group therapy for like 6 days, 6 hours a day. Loved it, by the way, was the best. If you've never done it and you feel like you're losing yourself, go do it. Find out if you're able to do it. And God opened doors for me. I found out I had PTSD, and I found a therapist that got me into their program for free because they needed to recertify. And God opened doors for me with my therapist that I currently have, who I love, who's my jam, who at one point I hated her guts because she said the real things that I needed to hear. So if you go to a therapist and you think that they're really just mean, it might mean that they're saying what you need to hear. You're just not ready to hear it, or you're just mad that they're right. Anyway, so that's kind of where I was at. Had 3 different people reach out to me. I was like, now I don't want to sell anything. I've tried that. I'm not into multi-level marketing. I don't want a pyramid scheme. I don't have anything to do with it. Get out of my face. Love you, but no. Bye-bye. That was just kind of my response. Thanks, but no thanks. 3 different people. 2 people that I loved. 1 person I had never met, but really connected with through someone else. Finally, I was like, okay, I'm sitting on this couch. I hate my life. I hate myself. I need something that's going to help me, and I'm too scared to take medication. I need to try something now, or I'm going to have to take medicine, or I'm going to die. It's just, that's it. It's plain and simple. So I went online, started researching, started watching every YouTube video. What's wrong with it? Kill you, gives you cancer. It's awful. What's the worst thing about it? I didn't want to know anything positive about it. I want to know everything that was wrong with it. Because obviously people are going to push the positivity if they're making money off of it, right? I didn't want any of that baloney, no hogwash. I just wanted truth. I wanted people who hated it to tell me why. Guess what? Couldn't find any videos about what was wrong. Every video was positive. Every single one, except for this one woman. She said in the title, I've never lost a pound, but I will take it for the rest of my life. It says on here, clinically demonstrated to help you lose weight. This woman straight up says, I have never lost a pound, but I will take it for the rest of my life. Why? It's intriguing. Why, I say. So I watch it. Super simple. And I go, Well, then I find out through reading a bunch of stuff, listening to her video, that your gut, which, newsflash everybody, something that I learned is where your serotonin, which is the happy hormone, is made. Serotonin reduces anxiety, reduces depression, increases joy and happiness and love and peace of mind. So all the crap that I was eating, all the junk food I was eating, all the terrible things I was doing to my body was disrupting my body's natural creation of serotonin. I do all this research. I pray, I meditate. Should I take this? At the time, my husband had no job. We had no income, guys. $0. And this stuff, not cheap, but totally worth it. I'm like, I can't do it. We don't have any money. What am I going to do, God? Why are you putting this in my path if I can't freaking afford it? Why? So I go to my husband and I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like I need to take this stuff. I feel like it's going to help me, but I know we don't have any money. What do you think? And he's like, that's expensive. And I say, well, they have a 60-day money back guarantee. If I don't like it or it doesn't work, I can get my money back. He says, okay, let's make a deal. If I don't see a difference in you in 30 days, then we get our money back and we don't buy it anymore. I said, okay, but what if I see a difference and you don't see a difference? He says, fine. 3 people have to see a difference in you, not including you or me. If that happens, then we'll be cool paying for that and we'll figure out a way. Well, after 30 days, after 2 weeks, I saw such a drastic difference that I went out and got my a-hole a job at Bear Pit so that I could pay for this thing that was blessing my life. The Bear Pit helped me mentally and physically and financially. I'm not here so that you go on and you buy it from me. That's not why I'm here. You can email me. I will answer any questions that you have. No problem. First email me and then I will send you my phone number and we can chat. But there is so much to be said for the way God's hand works in our lives. This friend who I ended up purchasing through was so nice, knew my situation, ended up paying for my startup fee, which was like $30. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. So I was so grateful for her for doing that. And I was like, okay, she helps me sign up. She's so sweet. She could tell that I was breaking down. At that point, she knew I needed this. And honestly, you guys, if I was a bazillionaire, I would pay for every person on the planet to have this supplement. I really would. It has drastically improved my life in so many ways. I say, I want the whole kit and caboodle. I want to know what I need for this, and this. And I already take a multivitamin, so you might as well give me that so that I can only buy everything from one place. Easy peasy. If I don't like it, I get my money back, right? She says, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still hesitant. I'm still nervous. Still super overwhelmed by this whole thing. I get the stuff in the mail like a couple days later. I started out slow. I take one of everything that I got and then slowly up it to whatever the dosage is supposed to be. So I have plenty of things that I'm taking daily to help myself be healthy. And I'm also eating as healthy as I possibly can, getting vitamins and minerals and nutrients that way. That being said, I want to talk about how I see a difference in me. You're probably thinking, yeah, right, Kim, it's all in your head. It's placebo effect, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You sound just like my husband who said the same exact thing to me. And this is what I will say to you. I used it for a year. My husband got pissed about how much everything was costing. Even though I was working and I made enough money every month to pay for my vitamins, he was still upset about the amount, which is totally understandable. Money is important. We wanted to get out of this house. So I got where he was coming from. So I stopped taking everything for 2 or 3 weeks. I got low, like super duper low, lower than I was before I was like driving around in my car writing scary text messages where the thoughts got real deep, real dark, real fast. And as soon as I saw those red flags, luckily I was still going to my therapist. Luckily I was still exercising. But the second I stopped wanting to exercise, didn't want to paint, didn't want to draw, didn't want to do life, found myself screaming, yelling at my kids, just feeling like garbage person. And this was after I had started programs. So I knew it wasn't the food I was eating or stuff I was putting into my body. I knew that it was lack of whatever it is that these products are giving me. That was my issue. So I showed my husband in real life, this is what happens when I don't take care of myself. This is how important self-care is for me. I know it's expensive, but I will forego whatever else I need to forego in order to keep these vitamins. So I went back on them. Feel better than ever. Been taking it ever since. Some things have drastically changed. No more issues with IBS. Very rarely. Unless I eat something real bad for myself that I'm like not supposed to eat. No more IBS. No more diarrhea or constipation. No more crazy like high intense panic attacks. Like I'm still scared of things. Like I'm not like a robot. Like I still have human feelings, but I'm easily calmed down versus like, oh my gosh, the world is going to end. I'm going to die. So the first thing that I noticed was like, okay, I'm terrified of heights. Don't like them. Don't want to have anything to do with them. Don't like being out of control of any situation, right? So I'm obviously afraid of Ferris wheels or like roller coasters or anything that goes high. My kids were walking through the Irvine Spectrum one day and like, let's go on the Ferris wheel. And I'm like, no, because that's my immediate response because it's all I've been saying for so many years. But then I thought about it and I was like, I'm not afraid to go. Why am I saying no? So I tell my kids, okay, cool, let's go on the Ferris wheel. My husband's like, really? Because the last time we tried to go on one at Disneyland, I literally hyperventilated the whole time and almost like jumped out, which would have been a way worse situation. So I go on this Ferris wheel with my family and I'm like looking out and I'm like, wow, it's so pretty. Look at the sky. Look at how far you can see down to the beach. Wow, like just totally enjoying myself. And I thought, this is nuts. I haven't like felt peace being high up and contained in a small little area and not having control over when I can get down ever in my whole life. So I was like, this stuff is really working. I didn't lose my temper. I stopped yelling at my kids. My husband and I were able to have like normal conversation. My libido was better because I didn't feel like garbage all the time. And I wanted to live. I had such a passion to live and I wanted to get healthier, wanted to do better with my life. And that's when I started opening up, and a friend of mine who had been in a 12-step program introduced me to it and just invited me to come with her to a meeting. And that's when I found program, and that's when my relationship with God like really increased to a real actual level. My relationship with my husband got so much better. My relationship with people around me got better. I didn't have to lie about everything all the time. It was so exhausting because I was just hiding how sad and unhappy I was. And today my anxiety's high because I just got my second COVID shot and I'm nervous about all the side effects, which is the reason I don't take very many medicines, but that I'll talk about in a different video. So long story short, their immune systems are better, and I cannot tell you how many times we've been exposed to COVID, and God has truly blessed our lives in so many ways. Not to say that we won't eventually get it, not to say that we haven't had it, I don't know, but as far as I know, He has protected us from COVID, and I know that a lot of that has to do with we're doing all we can do physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally to be healthy, and the rest is up to a power greater than me. So all of that being said, I will put my information in the description. I just want to help people feel better and live better and be happier and take care of themselves, because for so long I did not, and I don't want anyone else to struggle that way because I know how awful it was. So please, please, please know that you are loved, you are important, you can have peace, you can have love, you can have happiness in your life. If there's any questions, please let me know. Email me at kimberlnNicole.brand@gmail.com, or comment on this video, or private message me on Facebook or Instagram at The Real Kimberly Nicole. This to me is a really important part of my life and my peace of mind. And I just want to help as many people feel the same peace as I feel right now. So like, subscribe, click the little ding ding bell so you get a notification when I have a new video. And exciting things are coming. I'll talk a little bit more about my depression and anxiety journey as the days go on, but I just want you all to know that broken things can be healed. Mental illness does not have to be who you are. There is ways to heal your mind and your body. I know for a fact it's possible to be totally broken in a million ways, to slowly healing yourself, to being healed and helping other people. But I also believe that it is a lifetime job, and I will always be improving. I will always be looking for ways to heal myself from things that happen every day. But you cannot heal what you cannot feel, guys. And sometimes you have to have courage to do something that's a little bit scary. So I believe that courage is fear that said its prayers. And I really, really, truly believe that. And I know that if I'm doing everything I can do, and then I give the rest over to God, that it will all work out. This has truly saved my life in many ways, and my marriage, and my relationship with my children, my body. I mean, it's been tremendous for my mental health. And I know it's increased my energy levels and helped me sleep better, helped me go to the bathroom easier, have so much less anxiety, so much more self-love. So I hope you all have a great day. I hope you all love yourself a little bit more, and do something kind for yourself, and do something that scares you so that you can prove to yourself how brave you are, because you are stronger than you think. Just remember, I am enough, I have enough, and I do enough. And if you don't feel like you're doing enough, try something new. I will see you guys next week. I have a really fun video coming with exciting news that I can't wait to share with everybody. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you all have a good week. Bye.